Hey everybody, ASIC Eric here, and we're picking up on the back of the car again today. Trying to decide exactly what I want to work on today. I think I want to try and get as much done back here as I can before I get put this piece in epoxy. I'm not trying to finish the body work here before the epoxy goes on. I'm just trying to get it approximately correct. I want to leave the existing epoxy on there where I can. I'm taking epoxy off when I need to put the studs on there to pull dents and things like that. But if it's close enough, like all the little divots and stuff in here from the flap disc and stuff, I don't need to take the epoxy off for that. I'll just leave the epoxy there, just scuff what's there, and then put the filler over that. But I will wait on that because I'll put a fresh coat of epoxy on here and then I'll put the filler over on top of that. So I'm just going around and looking for what needs to be done before the epoxy goes on. So I think today I'll attack this piece right here. I don't know. When I look around, I don't really think there's much else other than that I need to do. I can put a little more fiberglass here and try and build that edge up a little bit. But I think the rest is pretty much ready to go. I've been standing here pondering the deck lid to see if I need to do any adjustments here before I think about finalizing this, because doing all this work and then having to come along and cut this would suck if I have to move this edge. It's pretty tight, as you can see, and it's kind of an interesting quandary that I'm studying here. So the first thing that's obvious that's wrong here is this is sticking up way too high right here. This hinge back here looks like it was replaced or something was done to it somewhere along the way. If you compare, so this hinge here has just got kind of a few spot weldy kind of things going on. And this one is got a whole bead of weld on it. And if I remember correctly, this is brazed. I can't remember. I think it was though. And there's also this hole down in here somewhere too. But anyway, I think this hinge was replaced, and when they did, they didn't put it in right because it's too high. So that throws the whole hood out of alignment. This is too high over here, which makes that corner too low over there. But back to the gaps. This edge is too wide here, too tight up there, and the opposite over here, which you think you can just twist the deck lid that way. But oddly enough, that doesn't work at the bottom. So this edge is actually sticking out too far right here, and this edge is sticking in a little bit. So if I twist it, that just makes it worse. So this may be a no-win situation here. So I'm not sure how I want to try and line this up. If I get that edge to come down, this comes up. Maybe this opens up a little bit here. I don't know. So that's kind of a mess. So what I was thinking, so as I mentioned before, there's this hole right here, which I don't know. I commented on this on a video way back when. If anybody has an idea what's going on there, that hole's not supposed to be there as near as I can tell. It doesn't look like it's rusted or anything, but I don't know what the story is with that. But anyway, so as far as this hinge is concerned being too high, I think I have two options there. So I could cut this hinge out and drop it down, or I could split this right here and then pull that down a little bit and try and do it that way. Now if I'm not doing anything else back here, I think I would probably prefer to do the split. That would be the easiest, rather than tearing into all of that. But I do have to deal with this somewhere along the way. And there's a piece of metal that protects this from underneath here, so you can't really get up in there and see what's going on. So kind of out of luck there. But anyway, I'm going to kind of punt on that for today. I'll again throw that out there for consideration, see what everybody thinks about that, what do you think the best course of action is on that. You can get a better view here. You look how nice and clean that hinge looks compared to that one. So clearly something is different there. Anyway, so let me tear into this. At least I know I have to do that, so I'll start there. All right, so there's no clear right or wrong of what to do in here. Most of this looks pretty good over in here. It's a little chunky right there, but it's all pretty solid, so I'm not gonna go off into that, so that way I can leave that stud right there. This is obviously toast. Since I have to cut to at least about here, I'm just gonna go ahead and run it out to that edge there and just take all of this out. I'm gonna try and stay away from this edge about 1/8 of an inch. So cut on the inside of that tape line there. I want to radius these corners here. So I'm going to take the drill, pump a couple holes here so I can radius those out so that I can get the saw down in there, and plus square edges are bad when you're welding. So I saw that in Swilling's video last night. I was looking through that and he was talking about that. It's a good reminder. Alright, so I got that piece cut out, and there's a bunch of crud here, which I thought was rust at first, but I think it's some kind of seam sealer or something, because this kind of fell off the bottom when I was taking it off. And the inside of the metal actually doesn't look that bad. So it was rusting from the outside in, not the other way around. So it scared me at first, but I'm just going to clean this up here and not worry about it. I don't think it's any big deal. Down inside, same thing I was seeing on the outer wheel, or outer wheelhouse, yeah. That paint's just flaking off in there, but can't really do anything about it now. So I'm gonna probably try and clean that up a little bit with a screwdriver or whatever. I'm gonna try and shoot some kind of primer down in there and get that protected with something. Anyway, everything looks pretty good here. All right, that's all cut out and ready to go. Put some weld through primer on it. There's the patch. Same thing, weld through primered. So I'm gonna let that stuff dry and then weld it in. All right, that's done. I cut this part a little too low right here, but that's okay. You're not gonna see this, it's inside the window channel. So repair came out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna go start doing some more dent repair and other stuff. There's a low spot right here, there's a low spot right here. That low spot here, I just ground the filler off. I'm going to redo that. That was too low. I wasn't happy with that. And then I'm going to just keep working on this stuff. So I'm going to do the fiberglass stuff first. This area, fiberglass this. And then I'll go back and do more filler and dent pulling and all that. One thing, hang on. So the piece that I cut out was obviously really rusted. See how close I can get in here. So I epoxied this a couple of years ago. I didn't do really much in the way of rust treatment on this. I mean, I went over the whole car with phosphoric acid, but this was epoxied, and I did really well, I think. So all these little pits that were all full of rust, I don't see any traces of rust anywhere. So that's good. That was one of the worst areas of the car that I left. And it looks pretty good. So I think the epoxy sealed all that pretty well. Alright, I haven't been filming much because this is much of the same over and over and over again here. But I worked on this line some more here, and it looks pretty tasty now. Still a little low right here. That needs a little work. I had a high spot right there I had to mash down. I didn't want to go down, so may have been some support or something behind there, so I had to beat the crap out of that. Found a big low spot right there. I pulled this one out, this one. Fiberglassed all of this stuff. Did a little work in here and some fiberglass along that edge. trying to keep any fiberglass off of the actual edge here. It's pretty close. It might be a little bit right there, but it's not bad. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a wipe of filler over all of this stuff here now. Maybe run some down here too. So this is close enough with fiberglass. I think I can do the rest with filler. Okay, we got the wipe on there. You can see while it's still wet, the contour looks pretty good. It's actually pretty thin in through here. It's not very thick. We've got a nice contour. It doesn't look too bad through that weld there. It's a little chunky here because I know I have to sand a lot of that down. So I got that done up through here. Put a little wipe right there. That's it. And I ran out of filler. So go ahead and let that cure up a little bit and start sanding it down. Alright, we have all of that blocked out in 80. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with 180. I'm going to put a guide coat on it first, just to get all the big scratches out and stuff. But I think at this point, once I finish that up, this is probably ready for epoxy. I could do some more work on the edges here and there, but I can do that later, I think. I think this is probably ready for epoxy. So, what do you guys think, your general wisdom on what sand scratch to have this in before the epoxy goes on? I think 180 would be enough, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I guess you could go higher to have less shrink back into the scratches and stuff. So I'm going to do it to 180 today and then stop because I'm tired. I've been at this for like 4 hours now. I'm beat. It's a lot of sanding. Well, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have finally arrived at this spot, which I've been looking forward to. Most people might not, but I don't know, I have been. Still. I would love to know who started this tradition here. Let's see, what is the date to date? 9th? I'm not even sure. Something like that. Anyway, who started this tradition? The first time I ever noticed this was the Shut Your Face garage. I don't know if it predates that or not, but I thought it appropriate to put it on one of these mixing board pads. I want to stick this up on the wall somewhere, but anyway, I have been looking forward to that, oddly enough. Said that means I'm done doing major body work and I'm on to major repairs and now doing body work. So anywho, a little bit of Bondo on the floor, so that's good. Most of it came off. I know I was just saying a minute ago this thing I think is ready for epoxy, but I changed my mind. There's a couple of big high spots here that I'm not real happy with, so next time I'm going to tap these down and then put some more filler on here and see if I can get this to be a little more level. All the rest of this is actually really nice. Feels really good in through here. A little bit of a low spot right there, but I don't know if you can really see down the panel or not, but it's real good, real smooth. Up until you get into here, then it's not so good. But the rest of it's good. Let me show you that body line, how that ended up after all the tweaks today. It was hard to get this view here, but it's almost perfectly straight now. That's good. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. Clean up, get all this crud off the floor here, put these tools away. Got stuff everywhere here. So anyway, take it easy, everybody. Talk to you soon.